Look at this. Blue and white everywhere. The buildings, the doors, the sky, the sea. This is Sidi Ifni. It's like someone painted a whole town to match the Atlantic. And right now, at this hour, in this light, it's magic. Welcome to the blue and white Atlantic gem. We are in Sidi Ifni, a town that doesn't belong anywhere else. Look, the ocean on one side, crashing, endless, and behind it, the Sahara. Just beyond those hills, the desert spirits drifting in on the wind. This is where they meet the Atlantic and the Sahara. The air is different here. Can you feel it? Salt from the Atlantic, yes. But something else too dry, warm, ancient. That's the Sahara. That's the desert breathing on us. Two worlds, one town, the fishermen and the nomads, the waves and the dunes, and Ramadan here. It tastes like both. Look at these buildings. Art Deco, Spanish colonial leftovers from another time, but the colors, blue and white. Moroccan blue, Atlantic white. They painted over the past with the present. Every door, every window, every frame blue. Like the sky, like the sea. Like the town decided to match the horizon. Today, we're experiencing Ramadan in Sidi Ifni, and it's different here. I can feel it already. The ocean makes people lighter. Maybe. The desert makes them deeper. There's a mix, a blend, a uniqueness. The call to prayer will echo off these blue walls and out to sea. The fish will come from the Atlantic. The dates will come from the desert. Everything here comes from somewhere else and comes together on the table. Listen, the sun is almost down. The fast is almost over. Any moment now, the call will come. From the minaret across the plaza, over the buildings, out to the Atlantic. The whole town will hear it. The call is coming. The town is waiting. Let's explore. Let's see what a Sidi Ifni Ramadan looks like, where the ocean meets the Sahara spirits. The Medina is behind us. The alleyways, the spices, the calls of the vendors. But here is a different Tituin, a different story. Look at these buildings. White, elegant, European, wrought iron arched windows, balconies that look like they belong in Madrid. This is the Tituin the Spanish left behind, the old Spanish consulate. For decades, this was the face of Spain in Tituin. Diplomats came and went. Deals were made. A country governed from these rooms. Now it's empty. Or maybe not empty, full of memories. Full of the conversations that happened in Spanish. The decisions that shaped this city. The echoes of a time when Tituin was two cities in one. And this cinema riff. Can you imagine? In the 1930s, 40s, 50s, people lined up here to watch Egyptian melodramas, French comedies, American westerns, all dubbed, all subtitled, all in this mix of languages that is Tituin. The architecture alone, those lines, that sign, it's pure Art Deco. It feels like walking through a 1930s movie set. Because, in a way, you are. It feels like walking through a 1930s movie set. At any moment, you expect a woman in a cloche hat to step out of a door, or a man in a fedora to light a cigarette on the corner. The Spanish influence is still in the air, in the architecture, in the names on old buildings, in the way the streets are laid out. But underneath it, always, is the deep Moroccan soul. Look, behind me, Europe. White buildings, straight lines, balconies. In the distance, the Medina, the walls, the minarets, the ancient heart of Tituin. The Spanish influence is still in the air, mixed with a deep Moroccan soul. They're not separate here, they're woven together like threads in a rug. You can't pull them apart. Why would you want to? The light is fading. The movie set is coming to life. Not with actors from the 30s, with people heading home for Iftar with families, with shopping bags, with the same rhythm that has played out here for generations. The architecture is Spanish, but the life is Moroccan, always has been. The Spanish influence is still in the air. The buildings, remember, but the call is Moroccan. It always was. It always will be. Listen, Tituin is calling. Listen, the Atlantic. It's been doing this for millions of years. Crashing, retreating, crashing again. And here, on this cliff, you can feel it in your bones. Sidi Ifni is built on a cliff. Look at it, white buildings, blue railings, the old lighthouse. It clings to the edge like it might fall into the sea at any moment. But it won't. It's been here for centuries. The Spanish built here, the Berbers lived here long before. And now we walk here during Ramadan, waiting for the sun to set. Look down, the waves crashing below. From up here they look small, but listen, that sound is not small. That's the power of the ocean, hitting rock over and over for eternity. During the fast, when the afternoon stretches long, this is the perfect place to come. To remember that something bigger than you is always moving. The view of the waves crashing below is the perfect place to breathe and meditate during the fast. When your body is hungry, when your throat is dry, when the waiting feels long, come here. Stand at the edge. Watch the waves. They don't stop. They don't rest. They just keep going, like the fast, like the day, like everything. And somehow that helps. The ocean reminds you that you're part of something bigger. The lighthouse. It doesn't guide ships anymore, not like it used to. But it still stands. Still watches, still reminds us that this is a place where land meets sea, where people have always gathered. In Ramadan, it's a marker. When the sun drops behind it, we know, almost time, almost Iftar. I walk this path every day during Ramadan. In the morning, before the fast begins, the air is cool and the sea is calm. In the afternoon, like now, the wind picks up and the waves get loud. Walking the edge reminds me that life is like this, a narrow path between land and sea, between hunger and satisfaction, between waiting and breaking. You just keep walking. The light is changing. The sun is descending. Soon the call will come. But for now, one more moment, one more breath, one more wave. This is Labubu, not a beach, a cathedral, built by wind, carved by wind, painted red by the iron in this soil. The red soil of the south meets the blue water, and in between, stone that has stood here longer than anyone can remember. Look at the people down there. They're not small, but the arches make them feel small. That's what this place does. It reminds you that the world was here before you and will be here after. These arches have been forming for millions of years, wave by wave, grain by grain. The Atlantic never stops working, and this is what it makes. This red, this is the soil of the south. Iron-rich, ancient, warm. It's the same red you see in the walls of Taraudant, in the cliffs of Tafraut, in the dust that covers everything here. It's been here forever, and when you touch it, you feel that. You feel the weight of time, the patience of stone, the endless work of the sea. And then the water, the Atlantic. Cold, powerful, endless, it crashes against the red stone, again and again, never stopping, never giving up. This is the raw beauty that gives us strength during these long days, the meeting of red and blue, of stone and water, of patience and power. When you're fasting, your body is empty, your energy is low. Your mind can wander to dark places, to thirst, to hunger, to counting the minutes. But then you come somewhere like this, and you remember that the world is bigger than your empty stomach, that there is beauty here that doesn't need food, that the same ocean that carved these arches will still be here long after this fast is over. The light is fading. The red stone is darkening. The sea is becoming itself deep, infinite, mysterious. Soon the sun will be gone. The fast will break. But this moment, this red and blue, this stone and water will stay with me. It's already in me, already giving me strength. The arches will still be here tomorrow. The waves will still crash. But for now, I carry them with me. The red soil, the blue water, the raw beauty that gives us strength. The city calls, the table waits, the fast will break, and Legzira will be here waiting for the next person who needs to remember how big the world is. Stop here. This is where the land meets the sea, the port of Sidi Ifni. But look up, do you see it? Those towers, those cables. They don't belong here anymore, but they're still here waiting. The Spanish cableway. Can you imagine it? Ships would arrive from the sea, loaded with goods. But the port was too shallow for them to dock. So they built this, a cableway carrying cargo from the ships through the air all the way to shore. Sidi Ifni used to be connected to the sea from the sky. Goods flying through the air, suspended above the waves. It's hard to believe now, but it's true. Sidi Ifni is a city of legends. Every stone here has a story. The Spanish came, built, left. The Moroccans returned, rebuilt, stayed. The cableway stands between a monument to a time when this place was connected to the world in a way that seems impossible now. Legends and sea stories. That's what this city is made of. These ruins. They don't work anymore. They haven't worked for decades. But they've witnessed so much. Ships arriving from Spain, goods being loaded, lifted, carried through the air. Workers shouting in Spanish, in Arabic, in the language of the sea. Now they're quiet, just rust and memory. But if you listen closely, you can almost hear it. The creak of the cables, the calls of the workers. The sea, always the sea. Sidi Ifni used to be connected to the sea from the sky. Think about that. Goods flying through the air, suspended between ship and shore. It's like something from a dream, a fantasy. Today, the port is different. Boats come and go the normal way. But the cableway remains, a reminder that this city has always been connected to something bigger. The sea, the world, the sky. Fasting makes you think about things like this, about history, about what came before it, about all the people who have stood at this same port, looked at this same sea, waited for this same sunset. The Spanish workers, the Moroccan fishermen, the traders, the travelers, all of them, here. We carry it all, the stories, the struggles, the hopes, and then we break fast together. The sun is setting, the light changes, the cableway becomes a shadow, but the city is waiting. The table is set. The fast is almost over. History can wait. Tonight we eat. One last look. The Atlantic, the lagoon, the kite surfers dancing on the water, Dakla's other half. But now the city is calling, the markets are waking up, and there's a feast to prepare. Look at this place. Behind me, the ocean ahead, the desert. Dakla sits right where they meet the Sahara and the Atlantic, shaking hands. It's different here. The air is ocean and sand mixed together. The flavors are the same: seafood from the water, spices from the caravans. Two worlds, one city. Time to leave the ocean breeze. The water will still be there tomorrow. The kite surfers will still be flying. But right now, the market is calling. And I have a mission. Tonight's table needs something special. Something from the sea, yes, but also something from the desert. Flavors that only exist where these two worlds meet. Listen, can you hear it? The souk of Dakla. It sounds like nowhere else. The fish sellers calling out their catch, sea bream, grouper, maybe even lobster, and right next to them, the spice merchants grinding cumin from the desert caravans, seafood and Sahara. Together, that's Dwekla. So here's the plan. Tonight, the family I'm joining, they're making something that only exists here. Something that needs both worlds. Things like fish, fresh from the Atlantic, caught this morning. And spices, cumin, saffron, ras el hanout, that traveled across the desert before they got here. Dates from the oases, seafood from the sea, desert and ocean on one table. I'm going to find the flavors of both worlds for tonight's iftar. Want to come, the golden hour in Dakla. This is when you see it most clearly, the desert and the sea together. The boats coming home. The camels resting, the light turning everything to gold. Two worlds about to become one meal. The ocean is behind me, the desert is all around, and the market. The market is right here. Let's go find dinner. Let's find the seafood and the spices. Let's taste what happens when the Sahara meets the Atlantic. In the big cities, the market is chaos. Shouting, pushing, last-minute panic. But here it's different. Sidi Ifni doesn't rush. The market doesn't rush. Why would it? The ocean is right there, calm today. The desert is quiet beyond the hills. Everything moves at the right pace. The market here is relaxed. Look, everyone knows everyone. The vendor and the customer, they're neighbors. They'll see each other at the mosque tonight. No one is shouting. No one is pushing. There's time. Always time. The ocean teaches you patience. Listen. Underneath everything, the voices, the footsteps, the rustle of produce, there it is, the ocean, the sound of the Atlantic. It never stops. It's been here longer than the market, longer than the town, longer than any of us. And it reminds you, don't rush. The waves don't rush. Why should you? And the smell, not just any market smell. This is different. The oranges, they smell like the sun. The herbs, they smell like the hills. And the fish. The fish smells like the Atlantic. Clean, salty, alive. You close your eyes and you're on the water. The whole market smells like the sea. The ocean is in everything here, not just the fish look. Between the stalls, down every alley, there it is blue, waiting, watching. You can't escape it. Why would you want to? The sea gives this market its rhythm, its patience, its soul. This is the opposite of the big city markets. No rushing, no panic. Just people, produce, and the ocean in the background. The fast ends soon. But here, no one's counting the minutes. They know the sun will set. They know the call will come. They know the food will be there. So why rush? No rush. Just the market, the ocean, and the evening ahead. Let's see what we find for tonight's Iftar. Wait, what is this? In the middle of the market, in the middle of all the fish and spices and bread, this cactus everywhere. Fruit, honey, oil, soap. I didn't expect this, but I should have. Sidi Ifni is the world capital of cactus. Did you know that? The hills around this town are covered with them. Miles and miles of prickly pear growing in the rocky soil, soaking up the sun and the sea air. They call it acnery here. It's not just a fruit, it's an industry. It's a way of life. It's what this place does better than anywhere else. The fruit itself. Prickly pear. Spiny outside, you have to know how to handle it, or you'll regret it. But inside, it's soft, sweet, almost perfumed. The color alone, that deep magenta, tells you it's special. It tastes like the sun and the sea had a baby. Oh, that's not like any fruit I've ever tasted. It's sweet, but not too sweet. It's creamy. Is that the word? And there's something else, something almost like flowers, but not messy. Very messy, but worth it. 1,000 times worth it. And this cactus, honey, not from bees, from the fruit itself. They cook it down, concentrate it, turn it into something else entirely. Liquid gold from spikes. It's sweet, but deeper than regular honey, more complex. Like the cactus saved up all its sun and released it into this jar. So here's what's happening tonight. Fresh, prickly pears. We'll peel them, chill them, serve them after the meal. They'll clean the palate, cool the mouth, remind everyone that we're in Sidi Ifni, and this cactus honey. On the bread, on the yogurt, maybe even drizzled over the brioches if I'm feeling adventurous. The table will taste like the cactus fields. The cactus comes home, fresh fruit and golden honey. The spikes will stay at the market. We only want the sweetness. The basket is fuller now. Sidi Ifni's superpower is in it. The table is getting closer. The coast gives us fish. The ocean gives us salt. But sometimes something arrives from the other direction. From the desert, these dates come from Asazag, hours inland, past the mountains, where the desert begins. They've traveled to reach us here, by the sea. The dates here are dark. Not golden like the ones in the north, dark like the earth after rain, like the sky before stars. Soft, almost melting, they taste like the desert sun. You can feel it, the heat, the dryness, the long days, all of that concentrated into this small, sweet fruit azazag. It's not close, hours of driving through mountains, then desert. The dates grow there in oases, where water still finds a way. The palms have been there for generations, planted by grandparents, watered by children, harvested by grandchildren. These dates didn't start here by the sea. They started in the desert. They carry that with them. And these almonds, not from the desert, from the mountains right here behind the city. The same mountains that catch the clouds, that give us water, that shelter the goats. We pair them with the dates, the sweetness of the desert, the crunch of the mountain. Together, they're perfect. Like the coast and the interior, meeting in one bite. Look, date from the desert, almond from the mountain. Together, this is what we'll eat tonight. The first bite of Iftar, the sweetness of the desert, the crunch of the mountain, all in one. It's like tasting the whole region in a single mouthful. He sees me. He understands that I understand. And so he scoops a little extra, a handful wrapped in paper, pressed into my hand. This is not for selling. This is for sharing. For the guest, for the person who came all this way to appreciate what grows here. He's giving me a piece of his home, desert and mountain, together in my basket. The dark dates from Asazag, the almonds from the hills behind. They'll be the first thing I taste tonight. The first bite of Iftar. The first reminder of where I am. This coast, this desert, this mountain, all of it in one small fruit. We are in the heart of the Argan region, the Sousse Valley. And this is where the magic happens. A women's cooperative. For generations, the oil has been made by women. Cracked by hand, ground by stone, bottled with pride. The argan nut, it looks ordinary, small, hard, unremarkable, but inside is the treasure. It takes hours to crack enough for one bottle. Hours of work, hours of patience. The goats eat the fruit, but the nut passes through them. That's how the cracking began, centuries ago. But here, women do the work by hand. Always by hand. And then, the grinding stone on stone, round and round, for hours. The kernels release their oil drop by drop. You can't rush it. The stone decides the pace. This is culinary argan oil. Not for your skin, for your food. For dipping bread, for drizzling on vegetables, for making amlu, the smell as it's ground. It's unlike anything else. Oh, that smell. This oil is pressed by hand and smells like toasted heaven, roasted nuts, warm earth, something almost sweet. It's in your nose, your throat, your lungs. It stays with you. And the taste is the smell, but deeper, richer, more. This is amlu, argan oil, ground almonds, honey, the same honey we saw in the mountains, the same almonds from the valleys, mixed together until they become something new. Some call it Moroccan Nutella, but that's not right. Nutella is made in a factory. Amlu is made here, in this room, by these hands. It tastes like the earth, not like a lab. The women who make this oil, this is their livelihood, their independence, their pride. The cooperative means they don't depend on anyone. They work together. They share the profits. They send their daughters to school. When you buy this oil, you're not just buying food. You're buying her work, her skill, her generations of knowledge. And that makes it taste even better. This one, for tonight. For dipping the bread, for drizzling on the vegetables, for making everything taste like this place. And this one for home. To remind me, long after Ramadan is over, of these women, this room, this smell of toasted heaven. The fish is behind me. The vegetables are bought, but something's missing. Something sweet. Southern sweets. Simple, traditional, and made with the best honey from the Anti-Atlas Mountains. Chabakia, you've seen it before, but not like this. Not with honey like this. The chabakia here is simple. No fancy shapes, no complicated techniques. Just dough, fried soaked in honey, covered in sesame the way it's been made for centuries. And this regifa, have you tried it thin pastry, folded and fried, then soaked in honey? Some are plain, some have almonds inside. But here, in the south, they keep it simple, delicate, crispy. The honey soaks all the way through. Every bite is sweet, but light. You could eat a dozen and still want more. This is the secret. Not the frying, not the folding, not the sesame. This, the honey, made with the best honey from the Anti-Atlas Mountains. The bees up there, they don't have it easy. Rocky slopes, wildflowers, the heat of the south. But that struggle makes the honey strong, complex. It tastes like the mountains look rugged, ancient, wild, simple and traditional. That's what I love about the sweets here. No fusion, no innovation, no trying to be something they're not. Just flour, honey, sesame, almonds. The same ingredients our grandmothers used. The chabakia is for celebration. The argifa is for every day. But both are made with the same care, the same honey, the same hands. They're for later. For after the meal, when the tajin is done and the tea comes out, they'll sit on a plate, golden and patient, while we talk and laugh and watch the night settle over the sea. They wait, they know their time will come, and when it does, the Anti-Atlas will be on our table. The sweetest treasure in the market, shabakia and argifat. Simple, traditional, made with the best honey from the Anti-Atlas Mountains. The sun is almost down. The table is waiting. Let's go make the rest of the feast. Wait. Do you smell that? Not food, not wall, something else. Something that comes from far away. This is a different kind of shop. Not mountain, not city. This is Sahara, brought north. Tea from the desert, incense from the south. The tea culture here is influenced by the Sahara, stronger, smokier, more ritual. This is NBA tea, the Saharan blend, not like the green tea you know. This is stronger. It's been carried across the desert, traded by caravans, brewed in tents under stars. One sip, and you taste the Sahara. The heat, the sand, the patience of people who know how to wait. And this bakar, incense. You burn it in the evenings after the meal when the family gathers. The smoke cleanses the house, clears the mind, prepares the space for prayer and conversation. It's not just scent, it's ritual. The smoke carries your intentions upward. So here's the plan. Tonight, after the meal, we're not making ordinary tea. We're making something special. We're going to make a real Sahrawi tea tonight. Strong, smoky, sweet, the way they drink it in the desert. And while it brews, we'll burn this bakar. The whole house will smell like the Sahara. He sees my face. He knows I understand. So he gives me something extra, a small piece of something special. A gift from his hands to mine, from the Sahara to the mountains. Tonight, when we burn it, we'll remember him, we'll remember this moment. The desert comes to the mountains tonight. NBA tea and bakar smoke. When we gather after the meal, when the tea is poured and the incense rises, the Sahara will be with us. The basket is fuller now. The night is richer. The dessert is coming. Look at this. This is what we came for. This is the Atlantic's bounty, right here in Dakhla, Corbine. Sardines, silver and gold from the sea. This is the fishmonger. He's not just a seller. He's connected. His brother is on a boat. His cousin, his nephew. The small boats that go out before dawn, that come back with the morning light. He knows every fish on this slab, which boat it came from, what time it was caught, how long it's been out of the water. This isn't commerce, it's family, Corbine. Some call it Atlantic gold. Look at this fish, the color, the texture, the way it still shines. This is what the local boats bring in. Not factory ships, not industrial trawlers. Small boats with men who know these waters. The Atlantic here is rich. The cold current, the upwelling, it makes the fish taste different. Cleaner, sweeter. This Corbine will be the center of tonight's table, and the sardines, don't let their size fool you. In Dakhla, sardines are everything. Grilled over open coals, stuffed with chamula, eaten with bread and your hands. They're not fancy, they're not expensive, but they're the taste of this coast. Every family eats them. Every grill has them. The small fish with the biggest flavor. Here's the thing about fish in Dakhla. This fish was caught this morning by the local small boats before dawn while we were still asleep. The fishermen were out there, setting nets, pulling lines, bringing in the catch. By midday, it was on this slab. By afternoon, in my basket. By tonight, on our table. From water to market to meal in one day. That's not just fresh. That's a miracle. He sees my face. He knows I understand it. And so he reaches under the slab, not for the fish on display, but for something extra. Something he kept aside. A few extra sardines. A gift. Because I'm a guest. Because I came all this way. Because I see what this fish really means to this place. The Atlantic is in the basket. Corbine for the centerpiece. Sardines for the grill. A gift for the table. The sun is sinking. The family is waiting. The coals are heating up. It's time. Wait, can you feel it? The air is changing. The neblina, the Atlantic mist. It comes in the evening when the sea meets the cool air from the desert, soft, mysterious, wrapping everything in grey and gold. The blue door, always blue, in this town. And behind it. Home, a courtyard, open to the sky. Plants, a fountain, rooms all around. The heart of the house, the Atlantic mist, the neblina. It comes every evening at this time. The sea breathes it out, and the desert breathes it in. And for an hour, everything is soft, grey, golden, magical. You can feel it on your skin. Cool, damp, alive. It's like the house is breathing with the ocean, but inside, the kitchen is warm, the stove is on, the pots are waiting. The mist stays outside or drifts in gently, if we let it. This is where we'll cook Ifni style, fresh, with the Atlantic just outside the door. Now, let's see what the coast gave us today. Fish fresh from the Atlantic, caught this morning. Oranges from the valleys, bright as the sun. Herbs, cilantro, parsley, the things that make food taste like home. Tomatoes, onions, spices, everything we need. This is Sidi Ifni. This is what we'll cook. The Atlantic mist is coming in. The kitchen is warm. And now let's cook Ifni coastal style, but with something else, something from the desert. Maybe a spice, a date, a memory of the Sahara. Because here everything is a mix. The ocean and the desert together on the plate. The fish will grill, the herbs will brighten, the mist will watch. Let's begin. The mist is outside, the fire is ready. The fish is waiting. Follow me. Let's cook Ifni style harira. You've seen it before in Marrakesh, in Efes, in the mountains. But here, in the south, by the sea, we make it differently. This is the southern harira, and it has a secret. First, extra chickpeas. In the north, they add them, yes. But here, in the south, we are generous. We want the soup to be hearty, to be a meal, not just a starter. Each spoonful should have chickpeas. Each bite should remind you that the earth gives us everything. The base is the same: tomatoes, onions, celery, the spices to cumin, ginger, cinnamon. This is still harira, still the soup of Ramadan. But wait, something is missing, something that makes it ours. And now the secret: argan oil. Not during cooking, not mixed in, at the very end. Just before serving, when the soup is done and the bowls are waiting, we add a spoonful. A single spoonful of this liquid gold. Why argan oil? Because it's ours. It comes from the trees that grow only here in the south. The nuts are gathered by Berber women, crushed by hand, pressed into this oil. It's nutty, rich, a little goes a long way. When it hits the hot soup, it releases its aroma, and suddenly the harira becomes something else, something southern, something special. Now, at the end, a spoonful of argan oil, drizzled in, stirred once. It doesn't cook, it just warms, just releases, just becomes. The nutty, rich flavor spreads through the soup. Every bowl will have a hint of it. Not enough to overpower, enough to remind you where you are. Southern harira, extra chickpeas, so it's hearty. And at the end, argan oil, so it's ours. The soup is ready. The secret is in now. We wait for the call. The tajin is eaten. The bread is gone. The family is full. But something is missing. Something bright. Something sweet. Something cold. Acnery. Prickly pears, the cactus fruit of the south. This is acnery, prickly pear, the fruit of the cactus that grows everywhere here on the cliffs above the sea, along the roadsides, in the cracks of rocks where nothing else can grow. It looks dangerous, and it is a little. Those tiny spines will get you if you're not careful, but inside is the sweetest, most refreshing thing you'll find in this region. You have to be careful with acnery. Those spines are tiny, invisible almost, and they hurt. So we use a fork, hold it steady, slice the ends, cut the skin, and then look at that color, magenta, like nothing else in nature. It goes straight into the blender. Watch, just watch. The fruit becomes juice right before your eyes. A swirl of magenta, green, yellow, all the colors of the cactus mixed together. No water added, no sugar, not yet. Just the fruit. Pure and cold. The sweetness is already there, hidden in the flesh, waiting to be released. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Cold, sweet, and full of vitamins. This is the ultimate Sidi Ifni energy drink. After a long day of fasting, after a heavy meal, this is what you need. It wakes you up, it cools you down, it makes you want to dance. See those tiny black seeds? You eat them too. They're soft, crunchy in a gentle way. Some people strain them out, but not here. In Sidi Ifni, we drink the seeds. They're good for you, and they remind you that this came from a real fruit, not a factory. Every sip has a little crunch. Every glass has 1,000 tiny seeds. It's the signature of Aknori. This isn't just for me. This is for everyone. After the meal, after the prayers, after the long day, this is what brings us back to life. Aknori, cold, sweet, full of vitamins. The taste of Sidi Ifni in a glass. Drink up. This is corbine, white fish from the Atlantic. Firm, delicate, perfect for a tagine. It was swimming this morning, not far from where we stand. In Sidi Ifni, the fish doesn't travel. It goes from boat to market to kitchen in hours. You can taste the freshness. You can taste the sea. potatoes and carrots, earth vegetables. They grow in the soil behind the town, watered by the same mist that comes off the Atlantic. In this tagine, they're not just filler, they're the bed for the fish, the absorbers of the saffron, the bridge between the ocean and the mountains. Potatoes first. They take the longest, so they go on the bottom, closest to the heat. Then carrots they'll cook faster, so they go on top. This is the architecture of a tagine. Every layer has a purpose. Every vegetable knows its place. By the time we're done, they'll all be perfect at the same moment. Now, the fish. On top, delicate, not touching the bottom. It will steam in the vegetable juices. Cook gently, stay tender. The corbeille doesn't need to be buried, it needs to be cradled. The vegetables will hold it, the saffron will perfume it, the steam will cook it from all sides. This is Talouine saffron, the best in the world. From the mountains east of here, where the soil is rocky and the sun is hot and the harvest happens before dawn. A few threads are enough. They'll release their color, their perfume, their warmth. The fish will turn golden. The kitchen will fill with something you can't name, the smell of mountains meeting the sea. This is a light, healthy tagine, no heavy spices, no mountains of oil. Just fish, vegetables, saffron, and the juice of the vegetables themselves. It smells like the ocean and the mountains. The ocean from the fish, the mountains from the saffron. Everything else is just support. Just stage 4, those two to meet. The lid is on. The tagine is sealed. The fish will steam. The vegetables will soften. The saffron will do its work. In an hour, when we lift that lid, the whole coast will be inside, light, healthy, perfect. The ocean and the mountains, together. Listen, the soup is almost ready. You can hear it in the bubbles, slower, thicker, more serious. But there's one more step, one final thing. The totwera. This is totwera, flour and water, sometimes a little butter, whisked until smooth. It's the secret of thick soup, the thing that turns a broth into a meal. In the lowlands, they might add it earlier. But here in the mountains, we wait. We wait until the very end, until the soup has given everything it has. Then we add the todwera. Now slowly, not all at once, a thin stream, while stirring, while watching. The soup needs to accept it, to absorb it, to become what it's meant to be. Watch. See how it changes. The bubbles slow, the color lightens, the texture you can almost feel it through the screen. It's becoming silky. And now the ginger, fresh grated, waiting for this moment. The smell of the ginger is incredible. It rises from the pot and fills the kitchen. It's warm, sharp, alive. Ginger grows in the earth, but it tastes like sunshine, like warmth from inside. And this sea fish, in the mountains. It seems strange, doesn't it? The ocean, so far away here in this pot. But the mountains have always traded with the coast. Caravans brought salt, fish, spices from the sea. And now, tonight, the ocean meets the cedar forest. The smell of the sea fish is everywhere, mixing with the ginger, the barley, the herbs. It's incredible. The soup is ready. The smell of the ginger and the sea fish is incredible. Everything is done. Everything is waiting. The sun set long ago. The fast was broken hours ago. But this soup is for now. For this moment. For when the family gathers and the Maghreb prayer is done and we finally sit down together. We are ready for the Maghreb. Listen. The Maghreb. It's time. Up. Away from the streets. Away from the market, away from everything. The steps are old. They've been here since the Spanish, maybe longer. Each step takes me higher, closer to the sky, closer to the silence. Oh, this is where the city ends, where the land stops trying and just becomes plateau. Below us, Sidi Ifni, the market, the streets, the people waiting for Iftar. But here there's nothing. Just wind, just rock, just this view. Look at the streets, empty. No one moves. The city is holding its breath. Everyone is inside now, tables set. Dates ready, families gathered, waiting, just waiting. And the ocean, look, not blue, not clear, misty. Veiled, they call this place the city of the neblina, the fog. Because at this hour, almost every day, the sea disappears into itself. The waves are there. You can hear them. But you can't see them. The ocean is hiding, waiting, just like the city. I came up here for the view, but the view is hiding. The ocean is shy today, or maybe it's just giving the city its moment, letting the streets be empty, letting the silence be the start. The city of the neblina goes silent. Even the seagulls seem to stop flying. They're perched somewhere, waiting, just like everyone else. The seagulls listen. Nothing. They're usually so loud, crying, fighting, diving. But now, nothing. Even they seem to stop flying for the adhan. Even they know something is coming. Something sacred. Even the birds wait. The city of the neblina goes silent. The streets empty. The ocean hides. The seagulls wait. And then the call comes. Listen. The meal is finished. The plates are empty. And the family leans back, full and satisfied. But something else is coming. Something that takes time. In the south of the Sahara, tea is a slow art. It's not about rushing. It's about patience, about conversation, and about that perfect foam. They say the first glass should be bitter as life, just enough to wake you up. The second, sweet as love. A little richer, encouraging you to stay and talk. And the third, gentle as death, the sweetest of all, a warm farewell, until next time. 3 glasses, 3 meanings, and look at this foam. This is a sign of respect. It means the tea was brewed with care and skill. It means you matter. In the South, tea isn't just a drink. It's a ceremony of connection, hours of talking and being together under the stars. This is patience in a glass. Thank you for watching. Listen, do you hear it? That sound, it's the sound of the Atlantic coming to life in our kitchen. These are fish brioets, little pastry triangles folded around a heart of the Atlantic, fresh fish from this morning's catch, spiced with cumin and paprika and a little chili and vermicelli, thin noodles that soak up the fish juices that give the filling body, that make every bite satisfying. Spiced fish and vermicelli, the perfect combination. Watch, here it goes. That sound, the fish inside begins to cook, to release its Atlantic salt. The vermicelli softens, absorbs, becomes one with the fish. The pastry crisps, turns golden, becomes armor for the treasure inside. And now the smell. Can you imagine it? The oil, the pastry, the spiced fish cooking. It fills the kitchen. It drifts through the house. It brings the Atlantic inland, up from the port, into this coastal home. The Atlantic is in the kitchen now. The same sea that held these fish this morning, the same water we watched from the shore. It followed us home. Look at that, golden, crispy, perfect. Filled with spiced fish and vermicelli. The cumin and paprika, that's the south. That's Sidi Ifni. The fish, that's the Atlantic. Together, they're the perfect crunchy start to the meal. I know therefore later. For the table, for the family, for when everyone gathers. But one for the cook, to make sure the fish is tender, to make sure the spices are right, to make sure the vermicelli is soft. It's right. The Atlantic is right. Look at that, a mountain of crispy triangles. For the table, for when the family sits down. For the first bite of the feast, the fish brioets filled with spiced fish and vermicelli, the perfect crunchy start to the meal, the Atlantic fried and folded and waiting. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. God is great. God is great. I witness that there is no God but God. I witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God. This mosque is different. Look at it. Spanish influence, colonial history, Moroccan faith. Sidi Ifni was under Spanish rule until 1969. The city still carries that past in its bones, but the call is the same. The same words that have echoed from every minaret for 1400 years. Hasten to prayer. Hasten to success. Look, the city moves toward the sea. Every door opens. Every path leads to the mosque. The fast is over. The prayer begins. This is the heartbeat of Sidi Ifni, echoing off the Art Deco walls and across the water. I stand here, on this terrace, between two histories. Behind me, the Spanish influence, the Art Deco, the colonial past. Before me, the sea, the same Atlantic that brought invaders and traders. And there, on the hill, the mosque, calling the faithful to prayer. All of it, the Spanish, the Moroccan, the sea, the faith, all of it is Sidi Ifni. And tonight, at this moment, it all comes together in one call. The sea remembers it. The Atlantic that brought the Spanish, that carried the traders, that swallowed the fishermen. It heard this call before. A different language from the colonizers, but the same call from the faithful. The city prays, the coast witnesses, the sea remembers. And somewhere in between all the layers of Sidi Ifni, the Spanish, the Moroccan, the ancient, the new rise together in one voice. There is no God but God. The call is complete. The prayer begins. And in this moment, Sidi Ifni is not just a city. It is a single breath, rising from the coast to the sky, carrying all its histories with it. The first prostration. Forehead to the ground, heart to God. This is Sidi Ifni at prayer. This is the coast surrendered. This is history bowed. This is faith unchanged by empires. Look at this table. Look where we are. The Atlantic, right there. The mist rolling in. The moon on the water. Fish, tagine, harira, everything the sea and this land gave us. The coast on a platter. The family gathers. 3 generations, maybe 4, around this table, by this sea, the grandmother who taught the recipes, the mother who cooked all day, the father who brought the fish from the market this afternoon, the children who will remember this night forever, and me, invited, welcomed, made family for a night by the Atlantic. The fish tagine, the Atlantic in a pot. This fish was swimming yesterday out there in the cold water, and now it's feeding this family. The flesh is tender, flaky. It soaked up the saffron, the cumin, the olives. One bite, and you taste the entire coast, the mist, the waves, the salt in the air, and the harira. But here, by the Atlantic, it's different. A little fish stock, maybe. A hint of the sea in every spoonful. It warms you against the mist, against the damp that rolls in from the ocean. This soup knows where it is. It knows it has to compete with the Atlantic chill. Listen, that sound, that's not just eating. That's a family, together, by the Atlantic. The fish is perfect. The harira is warming. But this, the laughter, the stories, the passing of bread from hand to hand, this is what makes it a feast. This is the sound of the coast. Ramadan in Sidi Ifni. It's about the mist, the fog that rolls in from the Atlantic every night, wrapping this town in cool damp. The mist that makes the plants grow differently, that makes the air taste of salt and distance. It's about the cactus. The prickly pears that line the hills, the argan trees that survive on almost nothing. The plants of this place, tough, beautiful, feeding the goats and the people alike. And it's about the Atlantic soul. The people of this coast open, weathered, shaped by the sea. Their hospitality, their patience, their way of making a stranger feel like they've always belonged here. Thanks for joining me, for walking through the streets, for choosing the fish, for sitting at this table by the Atlantic. Ramadan in Sidi Ifni is about the mist, the cactus, and the Atlantic soul. May your table always be full. May your heart always be grateful, and may this coast, with its fog and its waves and its stubborn, beautiful plants, may it stay with you wherever you are. Ramadan Mubarak from Sidi Ifni. The call has faded. The prayer is done. The sun is touching the Atlantic. And now, the moment, the first bite, the first sip, the first taste of release Bismillah in the name of God. The first thing. the date. After all these hours, the market, the cooking, the waiting, the waves, this tiny fruit, sweetness flooding the mouth, the body remembering what it means to be fed. The sun is still setting, the Atlantic is still there. But now I am too. And then this cactus juice. From the prickly pears that grow everywhere here, on the hillsides, along the roads, in the cracks of rocks. It's sweet, but not like the date. It's light, almost floral. It tastes like the desert meeting the sea, like the rugged land that surrounds this city. The sweetness of the cactus fruit is the perfect way to break the fast, not just because it's sweet, because it's from here. From this place, from the rugged hills that surround Sidi Ifni. The date comes from the oases. The cactus comes from the mountains. Together, they tell the story of this city, desert, and sea, harsh and gentle, ancient and new. A sip, a prayer. That's how we begin. Not just with food, with gratitude, with recognition, with thanks for this day, this fast, this moment. The prayer is between each person and God, but we say it together in our own ways. That's the beauty of it. Look around, everyone breaks fast in their own way. The grandmother who has done this for 80 years eats slowly, remembering it. The child who tried to fast for the first time today eats eagerly, proud. The father who worked all day drinks deeply, grateful. But together, always together. That's the point. Not just the food, the together, the sea, the sky, the family, all one, alhamdulillah, all praise belongs to God. For the date, for the cactus juice, for the prayer, for the family beside me, for this sea, this city, this moment. The fast is broken, the night begins, and I am full of food, of gratitude, of love, alhamdulillah. Listen, the waves, they've been speaking all day, all century, all millennium, and now, in this moment, they speak for us. Beneath us, the rugs woven by hands in villages nearby, wool from the goats that graze between desert and sea, patterns that remember the Sahara, that dream of the Atlantic. They hold us, now they keep the cool of the evening from rising through the floor. They remind us that everything here is made by hand, with patience, with love. The grandmother, she has listened to these waves for 80 years. The father, he fished in them today, and now he rests. The mother, she cooked with the sound of them in her ears. The children, they will hear these waves their whole lives. Generations listening, together, sharing this moment of deep peace. The windows are open. The sea comes in not as water, but as sound, as air, as presence. And through the same windows, if you could see far enough, the desert waits. This is Sidi Ifni, the place where the desert meets the sea. Not just on maps in our hearts. In this moment, both are with us. The Sahara and the Atlantic holding this room. This is the moment of deep peace. Not the eating that comes later. Not the cooking that's done. This, right now, the waiting, the silence, the waves. Where the desert meets the sea in our hearts. That's what this is. The vastness of the Sahara, the rhythm of the Atlantic, all meeting here, in this room, in this people, in this minute. The smallest among us listens to the waves. She doesn't know the desert yet, doesn't know the Sahara, but she knows this sound. It's been with her since before she was born. She's learning the rhythm of the sea, the rhythm of the fast, the rhythm of her family. One day she understands. Tonight she just feels a moment of deep peace where the desert meets the sea in our hearts. The waves speak, the family listens, the light fades. Any moment now. The sun is gone. The fast is broken. Just a date, a sip of water. But now we set the table. Here in the courtyard, with the neblina drifting through and the blue hour settling in. Look at the table, low, close to the ground, like all Moroccan tables. But here in the courtyard, with the mist drifting through, it feels like we're eating in a dream. This is where we'll gather, where the family will sit and eat and talk and laugh, where the food will be blessed and shared with the Atlantic just beyond the walls. Blue pottery, the color of the sea, the color of the doors, the color of Sidi Ifni itself. Look at them, they hold the Atlantic in every curve. In the mountains they use earth tones. Here, blue. Always blue, because the sea is never far away. Even on the table, we're surrounded by it. And white, simple, fresh, pure, like the foam on the Atlantic waves, like the white walls of the buildings climbing the hills. Blue and white together, the colors of Sidi Ifni. Every meal here feels like the coast. Even the plates remind you where you are. The table reflects the Atlantic, blue like the water, white like the foam, soft like the mist that drifts through this courtyard every evening. It's simple, no fancy patterns, no gold trim, fresh like the fish we'll eat, and beautiful because the coast makes everything beautiful. Last things. Bread, to tear, to share, to dip, olives from the groves, briny and bright, dates, to welcome, to sweeten, to begin. And light, because the evening needs it. The table is ready. The food is coming. The family is gathering. The table is set. The pottery is glowing. The mist is drifting. Listen. They're coming. The food is coming. The feast is about to begin right here in this courtyard with the Atlantic just beyond the walls.